All right.
I'm gonna
Move
post the
this.
link too.
Sounds good. Mm. What up, folks? Humans of Earth.
Hey y'all.
Here with my boy Sean.
hmm
How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. How about you?
I'm good. Had dinner earlier. I mean, we've been chatting for like what, an hour now, setting this up.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
to we have to please the
Um,
people.
exactly. How's Beantown over there?
Beantown, Boston Town is good town. Good town. It's
hmm
let's see what's the outside. Um it's good. Where are you, Sean?
I'm here in beautiful Brooklyn, New York. Um, where we had a little bit of rain, but overall it's been nice. So just this week I had my first time riding my bike into work since the winter started. Since it was really warm this week,
Uh,
it looks like it's going to get really cold next week. So it's just sort of a one and done. But
New York. New York is so nuts. Sean and I, well, Sean still lives in New York, obviously. I used to live in New York with, not with Sean, I didn't know where I was about to still, but yeah, um,
with other people,
with other people, yeah, but yeah, we would see each other more frequently. Yeah, I try to stop by and say hi. Yeah,
yeah,
otherwise,
I think I'll probably be in Boston next month. I think.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Probably,
for a long
some,
weekend. My
yeah.
girlfriend.
Oh, well, we should get like lunch or dinner. Any thoughts?
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, Beantown, Boston is a much quieter city. It has a bedtime. Uh, but the trains close at um uh like the last train is like at 12:40, like 12:30, half an hour past midnight. So you gotta dip that party at like 12:30 or else you're walking home or taking an expensive cab.
My God, it's still outrageous to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's post in the Discord here.
hmm
Discord. Say. E76 AO. Oh no, it's lagging. Oh, stick the link there. Well, we'll let people come through. But anyways, and if not, we're getting all of this on recording, which is great. Uh, but yeah, so thanks for coming to the Aliens After Ava stream. Um, Sean, you wanna introduce yourself?
Yeah. So, um, I'm Sean, folks. For anyone who hasn't uh, haven't made the acquaintance or haven't met in our Discord server, which I believe we have a link to, um, or I can post the link in the chat if anyone needs. Um, but I worked on the audio system and sound design for Aliens After Ava, along with Alejandro here. Um, and yeah, I'm here in New York City, and we're gonna be just talking about some of the development of the game. So Alejandro, why don't you introduce yourself for
Yeah, of
the folks
course.
back home?
Um, my name is Alejandro. No, what's that? I come in peace, and um, yeah, Alejandro Hervela, and I'm the main programmer and artist for Aliens After Ava. And yeah, the game started, I guess, when did we start working on the prototype? Remember the prototype, Sean?
Yeah.
See if
I
I
would,
let's see if I can pull up pictures here. But Sean and I originally made a prototype like I want to say I think it was winter fall of like 2019, right?
yeah, it would have
Or
been
2020?
um yeah, in the
Yeah, fall of 2020.
fall of 2020, right? Because it was right before I graduated
Yes, that's right.
during that fall, the first semester of that
Hmm.
year. Um, and yeah, we were kind of working on another project that hopefully we'll be able to show you guys pretty soon.
Hmm.
Um, uh, another project, but we started this game as sort of a smaller thing to tackle for us, and something that would be a little bit more straightforward compared to this other thing that was a little bit more complicated. Um, and Really, it was Alejandro's pitch. Um, that was basically this idea of having sort of an protagonist who's being pursued by aliens in the woods that you have to dodge using a few simple tools and mechanics. And we just, wanted to test the waters of just making something like this from scratch, and seeing what we could get away with, just the two of us. For those who don't know, we're I mean, there was another programmer who came on later, but primarily it was us and one other person that developed this game. Um, and Alejandro's pulling up some uh, early um, gameplay of the original prototype.
Potato here. It was on a potato. It was, so yeah, originally, and if you want to also, we'll definitely go through some of the behind the scenes stuff. But I also did a separate stream where I talked more about behind the scenes as well. But I don't mind going through it again because it's Sean is here, so it's more fun.
Yeah.
And I think I showed this video as well. But anyways, so this is like the original prototype where it was uh, it was vertical because we were, or I guess I was at the time thinking of making it a mobile game where like it'd be more swipey and the vertical run genre was prominent there. You can see even some like stuff that we didn't even implement, like the rock, picking up the rock and throwing the rock. And, um, what else were we throwing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was your gun would run out of ammo and then you would throw it as like a projectile. It
Hmm.
was basically the same thing as the rock, if I remember.
Yes, yes, you're right. Yeah, I did. But and then also what's cool is you can see that there's actually like terrain that like goes up and down um, and we can that whole system is actually built into the game right now if we wanted to add terrain. Um, and like it's really easy to do it. Like I could post an update and it'd be there, but it just didn't make sense in the end because you're already trying hard enough to dodge certain things. Um, but maybe at some point in the future, jump and then like have like a big
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
off or whatever. So that's cool.
Someday.
Someday, someday. And so that was that. And then we love Google Drive, folks. We love Google.
Is anyone in the chat right now part of our Discord server? I'm trying to get a link to it right now. I think we do have it linked um in our homepage of this Twitch channel, and I will be posting it in the chat for anyone who needs it. Um, but we definitely got a lot of people interested in the game after we brought it over to MagFest
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
about a month ago. um, sort of in anticipation of its release, um, we brought it to the wonderful convention at the Gaylord National Convention Center in National Harbor, Maryland, where we were able to show it to a lot of people, um, and get just a lot of really good feedback about it. Um, that I think people just started to sort of really resonate with the game. We got a lot of useful information on sort of the finishing touches that we wanted, and yeah, I think Alejandro's trying to pull
There
some pictures up from our little setup,
you
um, and yeah, I think this is something that just made me really happy. Just made the whole thing feel like it was super, um, like it was it was really happening for this for this game.
exactly, yeah.
Um,
So that was really cool. And
yeah,
Sean was the one who kind of pushed me to be like, hey dude, you should totally like submit this thing to MagFest. And I was like, ah, damn, really? You think they'll accept it, whatever? And Sean, what you had been there the year prior with, or 2 years prior with a different game, right?
yeah. It brought another game here, and just unlike a lot of or sort of like and unlike a lot of conventions, I thought Magfest is just a really great place for small indie developers, especially if you're on the East Coast, just because it's easy to get to and there's a lot of connections with people in the area. But I'd seen other games go there, and just like played a lot of really interesting new indie games. Uh, James is giving a shout out to Maryland in the chat, and uh, but it's just like a really cool event for all kinds of things. But Indian is super interesting, and a lot of like it's just a great place for very small developers to come and show their stuff. Um, so we thought it'd be a really good opportunity, and luckily they they accepted our submission, and we got to show it to a lot of people.
A lot of people played. We were there for
Yeah.
3 days, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just constant, just like, oh, what's up? What's up? Do you want to play? And um, for anyone who watches here or afterwards who played, thank you for playing. Really appreciate it. Um, and what was that? And then let me pull up some like concept art here. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then while I bring this up over photos. That was, I think, the original iPad drawing. Oh yeah, this could work.
Oh yeah.
Some of the backpacks, right? Oh, I even marked it March 1st. Or this is probably like some random note from like a phone call that I took at the time.
Oh yeah.
Backpacks. I was looking at a lot of like bars because I wasn't sure uh, what like I wanted to look like very steampunky, but like not too distracting. So this one I thought looked like a saw. So
Oh yeah.
and then I was pulling a lot of like Star Wars references um, for like cool. Yeah, see, I even put the little Star Wars logo. So if you don't know where the references were, just look up Star Wars backpacks. I think you here even look up Star Wars back.
For me, I always got kind of the uh I love the backpack that the rebels have in whoa, that's a crazy one. I've never seen that.
I think I was even.
Oh, that was for Rogue One, it says. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the cable guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see.
I always really liked the backpacks that they used in Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
um,
it's like it's sick.
on the rebels and stuff. Um,
Here you go. Here we go. You see?
nice.
Yeah, the Star Wars stuff too. I was also I remember these super specifically. Yeah, I referenced all these like this one. This one I think was really good. I really liked yeah, the cylinder down here.
Oh yeah, it's very like chunky.
Yeah, super chunky. And then I think there was like one more that. But
Hello, that guy named Omega. Welcome to the chat.
hey, what's up?
Welcome to the chat, everyone else. Happy to hear that you were roused from your meat coma. Um,
Amazing.
and yeah, I think we probably should get to our speedrun session
Yeah, sounds good. We can always talk about this
pretty
after.
quick. Um, and yeah, if you have howdy, um, if any of you guys have any specific questions about the game, especially if you've been playing it, or if you're just interested to try it out, let us know. We're going to be demoing some of it here. We have a link to our Discord, which I will promptly repost. And I will also be posting the link to our Steam page for the game. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you can do so by downloading it on Steam store.
I was
The
like,
Steam store.
you're so close, Sean. You're so close.
There's too many S sounds in that whole sentence.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
All right, Sean. Let's. I guess we didn't talk about this part, but do you want to share your screen, and then we can have I'll like superimpose yours on top of my video, and then both.
Oh, to do like a race or something?
Yeah, let's do it. I thought that's what we were doing.
All right.
Heck yes, we're a stranger.
Let me launch, and I will share
Late Lord.
my thing to you.
Also, while you're doing that, definitely yo concept art Strippy 76. Yeah, if you want to see more of the concept art, I have like all my notebooks over here where I drew all the stuff and scanned it in, so we can go through that after the run. We can we can literally dive into any part of the game. We can ask Sean questions about audio all night.
Totally. Also, I think you need to unshare your screen on
with
Zoom
you.
for me to share. Yeah.
Sharing here. Oh, let's get Sean back in the picture. And then here, I got another one of me here. There we go. Right. Let's get Zoom going full screen on my other screen. Exit full screen. All right, let me bring you over here, Sean. I guess I gotta minimize you. Yeah, because we can't play it in a window, can we? Well, let's see. Actually, I should have thought about this before.
We could do a speed run with just you first.
No,
let's just run the clock.
We could do that. We could do that. Let's see. What do we think? Should we have Sean in this little micro tiny window, or we each run it separately, and then I can stream what Sean's running?
And yeah, in the meantime, of course, if anyone has any questions about the game, any percent I want to see the glitches. I actually, I personally don't have any glitch speedrun tactics yet.
I
Personally.
know one. I know one.
Oh, okay. Alejandra's already ahead of me on the tech, actually. So I
Uh,
don't know. I don't know how much of a competition this is gonna be.
the hold on. Let's do increase zoom thumbnail. Uh,
Also, Alejandro, I remember there were a few questions in our Discord server regarding just like kind of like the backstory of the characters in the game. Um, do you have any of that like sort of figured out, or what was sort of some of the original idea of like the world of the game and stuff?
um, the so originally, this is actually a great question. Uh, originally, sorry, I'm just looking at the Zoom things. Yeah, it's fine. We can raise it. Originally, I got the idea to make this where I was so the it was the summer of 2020, and I was somehow I ended up living with my aunt in the suburbs of Mexico City, because my family is from there, and it was early summer, and The Last of Us Part Two was about to come out, and I had never played The Last of Us, and I was like, damn, this game looks so good, and like I hear the story is amazing, and like I kind of got spoiled the ending of the first one, and I didn't even have a PS4, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I ordered a PS4 from Mexican Walmart, um, and then I had to like send it back because it came without a controller, and then I had to order another one. It's so hectic. And then I pre-ordered the game, um, and then as soon as the game came out, I got it, and I remember the first night I played it, I was like, oh, because I never had owned PS4 games or like had truly amazing looking games, and so I boot this game up, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
right, oh yeah, Sean has played it too.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. So I was like,
yeah.
uh, and yeah, it was amazing to say the least, and yeah, and so since then, uh, I remember playing one level where Ellie, the main character, kind of like sprints through this kind of this level, and you know, just killing all these aliens or not aliens, all these infected and people, and I was like, this sequence right here could be a really cool game, and I was like so obsessed with like just kind of the idea and like the kind of feel that you got from playing something like that, and I was like, this could be something super unique given the right setting. So then for that summer, I came back and I started prototyping, um, and eventually after like a year after that prototype, I came back to it and I was like, let's try to finish this because this could be yeah. Anywho, Sean, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Um, all right. I guess, is there any way to impose a window? And can I stream two windows to OBS? Is that
You can. You need to set it up somehow
let's
in a
see?
way. Or you can just like you can make two screen shares for your two screens, and you just have to like put them next to each other. Like literally just drag them around in OBS until
All
they're
right. Let's see.
aligned.
Display capture. All right. Great. Oh, here we go. All right. So now,
Yeah, we really needed four monitors
there
for
we
this
go. Hell
to
yeah,
work
dude.
ideally.
All right. So I'm gonna have you, and then let's unlock this one.
Whoa.
Yeah. Awesome. Split screen, folks. Live. Okay. Let's make it an even race here. Um, okay. Go.
Whoa.
All right. Uh, Sean, so now I'm gonna go back to our Zoom here and let's see how
Oh, I
this.
see what's going on. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Jerry rigging the shit
Whoa.
out of this. All right. Uh, okay. Let's. Sean, do you have the stream open? How's it like?
Looks like something.
All right. Cool. Well, let's run with it.
Oh yeah. If you full screen my stream and the other monitor, what does that look like?
Uh, if I full screen, what's it?
Never mind. This is good. I think this is good.
Okay, hide self.
This might be as good as it's gonna get.
Uh, Standard.
If you just hit like the like full screen it up there in the top left, what does that look like?
Oh, perfect. And then, heck yeah. Great. Let's do it, folks. All right.
World record coming.
You good?
There's already a speedrun.com page for it?
Maybe. Okay.
Whoa.
Go. You go. Start. Start the game. Yep. All right. This is a new run for you, right? It'll go through the tutorial.
Yes. It's a fresh install,
Okay.
no mods.
Awesome. No mods. Right. Sean, we should
we're gonna
read the
do-
instructions in case we don't know how to play.
Yeah, right?
Let me take a swig over here of my sparkling water.
What are we all sipping tonight, folks? I got some water in a plastic
Some
cup.
water. And water. Oh, guys, check out what my girlfriend Claire. Look what she made. She made a whole
Whoa.
sticker thing on the water bottle. Isn't that so cool?
This merchandise is
But I know you're
available
watching.
at.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, cannot get this. This is unobtainable
Right?
merchandise.
And then they also put a
Nice.
Anyways,
All right.
next. Okay.
Does the clock start when we're at the tutorial? Because if so, I'm way behind right now.
No, that's not part of this game. Oh, let me take off my sweatshirt. I'm gonna sweat here if not. One sec.
Oh my god, it's gonna get serious.
Okay. No nudity received. Where are my glasses? Yeah. All right. I'll go. Ready. Go. Shit. I'll pause for a sec. I didn't realize it was the last one. All right. As soon as it starts running, okay. I'll pause and then you pause.
All right, give me a countdown.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So I think this first one is gonna be just that neither of us gets hit.
Okay, yeah. Because
Also-
I actually don't know. So the levels end when you reach a certain distance, right? It's not a timer.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of feel like this is fair though because like I know exactly how some of the things are programmed. So I might have an advantage there. However, my monitor, or not monitor, my setup is a bit laggy because I'm running all the other stuff right now.
Okay, yeah.
So-
Mine is running pristine 100,000 FPS right now, so
Yeah. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I have played this goddamn level.
Okay, now the real speed run begins once we get to
Yep.
the boss here. Oh shh.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speed through this. Ah, I can't look at chat because I have both monitors taken out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell your friend they're handsome too.
Thanks, yeah. What about this for?
Nice.
Oh, I gotta do glitch. Alright, let's see if I can pull it off.
Are you already on glitches right now? I'm looking at the, the menu.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot to turn this feature off. Okay. I used the laser by accident. But I'm not gonna use it because that was programming.
Okay,
error.
Alejandro was already cheating at this.
No.
So
I said I wouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna just use the grappling hook. Okay. Okay.
Oh shit.
Got it. Ah, no.
Okay, I'm gonna call that a 30-second penalty right there.
It's I guess the glitch isn't always extremely helpful because
Trees is the yellow card.
yeah, exactly. How much energy do I have here?
We did have. Oh my god. The thing with the quick time event going up instead of down is always very like. Whoa.
Yeah, I've gotten some feedback on that. I might flip it up.
Are there any languages that read bottom to top?
That's a good question. I messed it up. Okay.
I think we had a couple people in the chat asking about lore in the world of the game. We did talk a little bit about some of the origins of where the idea for the game came from, but what's going on in Ava's world exactly?
That's a good question. So the way, so one, I think it was helpful that I could just keep it vague for future purposes. But I think mainly the way I thought about it, because I did think about these things, was so you were Ava, and the lore that I was thinking was Ava, you know, used to live in a suburban town, classic American life, and then suddenly these aliens touch down, and it's kind of like a World War III apocalypse scenario. And so Ava ends up escaping her town that gets overrun to the forest, and so she encounters these aliens, and so she kind of has to fight her way through, and at the same time is trying to find a source that maybe she can learn about or discover and maybe foil some of the plans of the aliens taking over. So yeah, so hopefully something like that. Found another bug. Wow. John, I found a bug live on stream.
Uh-oh.
It's so cool. Okay, well, I think I've never intentionally tried this because I always figured I was gonna. For people watching, basically what I'm doing is I'm releasing the grappling, I'm firing the grappling hook, and the last second, when it hits an alien and it reels in, just switching lanes. I forgot to program. Forgot to prevent something that could stop you from changing lanes after you've been reeling in. Um, and someone originally found it at um,
At Magfest?
yeah, at Magfest, and I was like, oh shit.
Mhm.
And I just haven't had time yet to.
So basically, he's wave dashing right now. Is what's
Yeah, yeah,
happening.
exactly.
he's grapple canceling.
For friends who play Melee.
Yes, it is a mechanic.
I definitely want to try to speedrun this one because like I feel like I can do that glitch. Alright, I just beat it.
Well, I just got to the last boss, but it's pretty close.
Pretty close. Alright, let's see. Let's do it. Before you got this. Boom.
Has anyone else in the chat completed the game before?
Oh, you know what I can do? I can pull up the cat on my phone. Oh, let's go, Sean. Halfway, halfway. Doing great.
All right, I just completed it.
Very nice.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Good job. Good job. Um. So that's the game, aka the the 3 levels, and but oh it'd be cool if I can. I'll show up. Let's switch to OBS again. Let's get back our full screen experience here.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, one.
I do want to check our speedrun rating. I actually have not seen it. No one's posted anything yet.
Really?
Actually, I don't know who this moderator is. I'm guessing they must be on our Discord, maybe.
Mm.
Pabanu? I don't recall that username in our Discord, but maybe they're there all along.
All along.
Oh wait. Pabanu. Oh yeah. That's wild. I wonder who did this. They're not in our Discord server, but they moderate our speedrun.com page.
Oh, nice.
But
Well,
hey, also
we appreciate
anyone else who's trying to perfect their runs right now, should probably go and try to post to get the first run on speedrun.com. I've never posted or used this before, so I have no idea how I would post any of my runs. But
if
you're trying to shred this game right now, anyone who needs a link, I'll post that again, as well as our Discord. And if you post a speed run, you get 1,000 Ava points, which are good
don't
for
sell on some 8 points.
redeeming on Discord for clout.
Some good clout.
Yeah, Splits.io too. Yeah.
Anyways, what other questions were there?
Yeah, let me check out the Discord.
Here too. I was watching in Greece. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We hope this replay finds you well. Oh, by the way, I love all the clips that people do. You guys are awesome. I never thought people would like be clipping the game and like it's effects for a stranger.
That's awesome. People are making like music videos and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. That was super cool.
Um,
Someone says, rare stranger. I love cryptocurrency. I haven't had too much of a hand in cryptocurrency. Not there yet, but Ava points. Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Uh, Almost take a week to put it right in.
Hmm.
I did not know that.
We'll see the results. I guess next time we stream, we'll post about them in the Discord if whoever gets the first run, and um, as people start climbing the ranks.
Yeah. Also, I use the PlayStation controller, so maybe that was an advantage.
I was a little rusty on the controls. I played it on the PlayStation controller when we were at Magfest,
Yes.
which
It was like
I
it
hadn't
was a
really been
different
used to that
controller.
thing. Or yeah, that and actually, if anyone is interested, it does run on the Steam Deck very, very well. Um,
Yes. Yes, I have it.
we're not just saying that; it actually really works great. Like when we were demoing it at Magfest, even though there was a setup that had like a computer keyboard, if we wanted to use it, it was actually like running on a Steam Deck, just like behind the computer. It was like a it was like a secret. Um,
Exactly.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
no one was the wiser. Okay, now we're full screen. We show off some of the art stuff. I guess that's what we would have left. And
yeah,
then
totally.
if you want, we can like show off the audio system. You want to do that first, or what do you want to do?
Let's take a look at some concept art again. I know we
Can't sit
looked at a little bit of it at the beginning, but I know there weren't uh, maybe some people who weren't there at the very beginning.
True, true. It's, so, um, okay, so these here are my sketchbooks over the years. Um, I still have more in different places, but they're basically like just these kind of grid ones. Um, like the ones with squares. So like this one was before Aliens, after it. But just kind of like a mess and just kind of whatever.
Classic art student stuff right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yes, I used to go to art school.
Former art student.
Former art student. So my favorites looking through these were the
What are the post-its for
oh
versus
that
just writing straight on it?
this was I had a band pre-COVID and we were like trying to figure out a logo. Vaccine logo, you can make a something. I was just like taking the plane and just kind of trying to draw the plane. um,
Nice.
Anyways, oh yeah, see, here's another plane. Let's enough of that. Which one is not possible? So let's see. Which one? I should date these. That'd be more helpful. Is this one? I see a lot of planes. Another plane. Another plane. Like just my family used to
Flying
live
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, one of these. Oh, no, no. Oh, some dude's Crocs. Ones.
Nice.
This one. I don't remember which. No, but Sean, the little cameo. Remember this stuff? The old Lunar Not.
Oh yeah.
Like earlier.
Yeah, this is another game that we're working on. Um,
Yeah.
and some of the art for that. We have definitely a big focus on our site, yes, intentionally or not, on alien invasions.
Yeah. Always the
Just
aliens.
sort of like classic like space theme sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
That
I am approaching concept art. I'm so sorry. I'm clearly so prepared. Okay. Here we go. Here's stuff. So, um, Where's the no, this is well. So here, I was starting to do some stuff. So here you can see it's really crappy camera. I was just kind of thinking about like what different ways you can kind of like go down. So like for a long time, I wanted to do disorientating. I wanted to do this sequence where either you kind of fall down and then you have to like it was gonna be multiple. You like tap on each end and you shoot them, or you'd be like going down like a worm's mouth or something like that, or like falling off like a cliff and chasing something into the worm's mouth. Um, but you gotta kill some of the to move on. Um, some more so like trying to like see what the menus look like if there's like a cave scene, you know. A lot of these are just really bad notes. It's nothing impressive because you gotta just put some aliens.
Yeah.
I think
There's definitely a lot of alien designs.
there we go, more aliens. Yeah, you
And
gotta
yeah,
make them look scary.
yeah, and yeah, someone mentioned they're interested of Ave looked like. I think there was even a sheet that had a bunch of different versions of
Yeah,
her.
like hairstyle and stuff.
Yeah, and like even the prototype did look a little bit different. For those who didn't see at the beginning, or at the beginning of our stream, I mean.
Oh yeah, here are those backpacks. This is the right
Oh
one.
yeah.
Oh, what is this? Oh yeah, here's a couple drawings of Ava. So I was so here I was
Oh yeah.
debating whether we would I can't, I'm so disoriented. Let me So yeah, here I was debating whether we wanted to do like a ponytail or kind of flowy hair, like what would be easier to animate or what would look better. Um, and I forget why. I think a ponytail is
It
probably
looks
more.
nice.
Yeah, looks nice. Ponytail is probably more practical. I don't know. What do you think, Phil? Should we have a ponytail?
We could have some like selectable costumes or something like
Yeah.
that. Unlocks.
Oh, and here's like a final version of like more closely to what that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
Because I mean, it might sound a little bit like trivial, but with things like the costumes and like the design of the character and the creatures and stuff, and just the things they wear is so important to like creating the setting for the game or for the movie work, whatever it is. Like if it is sort of what's it called, like for fantasy, I guess you call it kind of like low fantasy, but if it's supposed to be kind of like a grounded sci-fi concept and you're not sort of constantly engaging with how zany it is, or if you don't learn everything about the world at face value super directly, then it's like all of those details about what the character looks like and the type of clothes they wear, what really like bring all the like Star Wars and the Alien series and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's totally right. I think you have to have like every bad idea before you start finding good ideas. These a couple more. These are really this one is from this one. This is from that summer. Yeah, so here this is kind of like where the like a kind of a little greenery part of where I was living. Kind of thing. Yeah. And then at the same time, that's when I started having these ideas of getting. They're a lot more round. This one kind of looks like Sid. I think I was thinking about that. And then, okay, here's some more. I definitely wanted the aliens to look weird and like unusual, but also scary, and then it was hard, like so scary. So then here's something about aliens. Here, and then this I remember I did on a plane.
Oh yeah, all the different
hairstyles. Yeah, it's like yes, maybe I don't know. Want a hairband? We want to give them dreads. And at the end, like, here were a couple names I was brainstorming. Travis.
Oh yeah. Our original like prototype product, like product name was just called Twilight.
Yes.
I think there are even other titles that we were throwing around before too.
Yeah,
Twilight is very catchy.
Yes. So you have like animations that I still want to do, planning to do. So like, I also mentioned that we ended up not using.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. You talked me out of it. Thank God. What else?
I think it was another type of obstacle, right, that you could swim through or something, right?
Yeah, and it was Maybe not at least right now for the time of
Not if we
house.
wanted the game to be released.
Yeah. Um, and there were so many sheets of paper like this where I was just trying to make sure I did the math correctly, like that's good. And then okay, there is the curve of like this is when I was still kind of doing the drink stuff. But let me grab my phone so you guys can. Oh wait, let's do that. Phone. Yeah,
Oh,
there we go.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah, looks so much better. So a lot of hairstyle.
It's a good one.
Purple. This I was excited about. Like
Oh yeah, it's
down
really good.
business. Let's do that more. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on here's a different alien. More you can get all thing spiky equals series. Great drawing David right there.
Oh yeah, it's a detailed sketch. And yeah, also for those who have been keeping up with the game and have cleared it, hit it multiple times, we do have some new stuff coming.
Yes.
I'll give some more details about that. What are people doing now for?
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about that later. So we can talk more about what we're playing in a sec. That's okay. Or the people out right now. Where the interested right now knowing. To me, the costumes.
If there's any specific questions for a little while,
Oh, okay.
I can look back through. But of course, the Q&A, if there's anything you want to see or that you're interested about, these are the creators of the game right now. Along with you did have another code collaborator at the engineering end, right?
Yes, Joe Barry, my mentor at the time. He was really good. He would design a lot, so that was he was very involved in making sure that we were tight and then kind of got in a good direction. So work doing it. So that's awesome. Professional. Okay, so this page is awesome. These are the exact ones that are in the game. So I literally took these and scanned them in and drove them. You can see so this fence is in there. These two cars. I think I tried to booth. I might do later. That bench. I'll fit on those rocks. It's so cool. They're just annoying rock. At the radiation signs. This fence open. I think I do. I did that. There's that car with the door open.
Oh, the door's open. Yeah.
Everything's open.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, and then the sign. I got it.
Yeah, definitely. That's. I mean, I guess since you it looks like most of the drawings are pen. Are there any like sort of specific considerations that you're taking into account when you're kind of drafting these obstacles and other like assets that are gonna end up in the game, as opposed to just drawing for drawing? You know.
Um. It's a good question. I guess like well, when I'm making a new level, I'll think like what team of levels. So first one's kind of like snow forest, second one's kind of like swamp, and the third one's kind of like rundown. So I just look up references. Always look up references, and you kind of start doodling things onto the page. So that's the question. These are the videos. This is like gonna be like a boss. This is like one name like that.
Oh yeah. So it's like a warlock kind of
Warlock,
thing, like
yeah.
the robe.
And that makes sense. And that when I circled it, that's the final.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be for like the.
Oh yeah.
So that's the art. You can post it digitally. I can do that. That's great stuff. Enough of that. It's your turn, Sean. So I'm going to ask you questions. So when did you first stumble upon computer? Sean, you told me that actually. That's a good point to start.
Yeah, sure. So Alejandro and I went to school together, and we started a band with a certain person in the chat right now. And yeah, basically like throughout high school, we were just sort of like playing music together a lot, and eventually when I guess both of us kind of independently started doing some like video game stuff. We really wanted to work on a project together. And we're sort of hanging around with a couple ideas for a while. Alejandro was getting really serious about a couple of them at the time. I was finishing like my last year at NYU, and I just sort of needed a like I don't know project for my school stuff, and I wanted to basically do some sound design and audio programming for a video game. I know someone who's making video games right now. And for like a lot of people who like wanted to do things like that, it's always like a tricky project to tackle because it's like it's either I gotta take a stock game that's probably gonna suck from the internet and try to put sound effects on it, or I need to make a video game and sound effects for a video game. You just sort of go off the rails, just the sheer amount of work you have to do. But luckily I didn't do that because I had Alejandro who actually could make a game.
I need you as much as what Sean. It was nice with Sean because like so much of the shit I was just kind of going on my own, and Sean was like, "Oh, let's do it together." And I was like, "That's probably a good idea."
yeah.
Sean.
This is, I mean, you know,
go ahead.
I probably didn't have quite as much like code experience, I guess, as Alejandro, but both had perspectives about how to like you know, look at these things and understand, just the logic behind. Okay, I need to do this and that. And if we ever had a problem, we just all could sort of bounce ideas off of each other and say, well, if it's this, then we should do that in the code, and things like that, as well as just like creative ideas about like, like does the menu look good if we have it like this way, or should we put this here, or does this feel right for the story or for the gameplay? It's always valuable to have, even if it's a small team, just have someone else to bounce ideas off like that. So of course we did a lot of that sort of stuff too, and then I went and made some things.
And what was great too is you, I don't know how much for you, but you can be super accountable. We're like, hey dude, did you pick that thing yet? And I was like, shit, I got up on it again.
Gotta fix things, gotta make stuff.
Yeah, and so time consuming. Like, don't get me wrong, I think we both enjoy doing projects together, but we're like, man, like when you have other things in your life, and whether you're in school or your job, it's just like it's so hard to find time with the desire to do it. So Sean's girl for pushing me all the time. There was one point where we were like working on a different project, and we had that schedule, and so it was so brutal, right? Like I'd go to like work or school, and we were doing work, and then we'd come back and meet on Zoom or Discord at like 7, 8 p.m. for 3 hours, and then go to bed.
Yeah, or longer than that. I remember like I again, this is for another game, for another time, but when I was like, just trying to like test things with like the audio programming and trying to like develop new systems to make things sound nice, it would just be like I'd take like, a screen recording, like this is February 2nd, 2 a.m. and I ended up taking video as part of an assignment too, which was kind of insane.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I think it was just a great way to like, especially if you're at all just taking like effects and music and sound design and things like that, like being able to participate in something like this is super super valuable and super interesting, and just like how to not only just make cool sound effects, but in a way that's almost like overkill for what this game is. There's kind of a lot going on in the audio realm in terms of like, as you run, of course, like there's sort of like randomly chosen footstep samples that'll play as you run, but there's also several layers that are all individually randomized, as well as when you fire guns and when you jump, in order for it to not sound the same every time. So it's a little bit different just to keep it sort of feeling realistic, and make it like engaging without being distracting. We sort of had to program all that stuff by hand.
Especially with like and all that is so important because when you're running a game, you're just seeing the same perspective and the same sounds. And it's like you have to not make it so repetitive for as well as repetitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very cool, making sure that. And I think general audio is kind of gives the feeling to everything in the game. It's like a great movie, right? Like you can see the scariest shit you've ever seen in your life, but like there's no like audio cue or like soundtrack in the back throughout. Like that feels so dead.
Yeah, like in a certain way, I think especially for audio visual media, like anything like a video game or a movie, something like that. For me, I always felt that like in a certain way, the visual aspect to me is always a bit more. The visual aspect is a bit more literal, I guess, in terms of the storytelling method, or avant-garde, interesting ways to tell visually, but in just the way that sort of my brain interprets things, the visual stuff is literal, and all the audio is what gets actually in your bloodstream. That's the emotional, that's like a visceral reaction, is what's happening in the audio. If you can see something scary, it'll be scary. I don't know why it always goes to horror, but it's just that's the most visceral like media form, I think, that we kind of both agree in a lot of ways.
We worked a lot more too, so
yeah. I think like we both love that stuff, and that's what we're trying to evoke with a lot of things we do. But it's just like the sound, I think, just gets straight to your emotional core directly, and you don't need to know what it is in the way that you might for visual stuff. For me, it's my opinion.
And even for like happy stuff, like I was just or sad things. Like I was just watching the last TV show. Spoiler, there was a
amazing show,
but there was a scene that was super sad, and it was just that soundtrack, just whatever they had showed it. I was just like, just a mess. And I was like, oh god, it's great. So yeah, it really does go a long way. That's a lot. Project right here. So you can see what is
behind the scenes stuff right now.
Yes, and behind the scenes
source code leaked,
even though it's all online. Yeah, if anyone wants to check out our good or bad code, feel free. It's on my. You go to the website and then you hit like my portfolio type of thing, and you hit GitHub. All our code is there. If you want to see what we did. Because it's a free game, and we figured if someone can do good from it, then awesome. Anyways, so for anyone who's admitted this is Unity. Unity is a free game engine, or kind of like a platform to make video games. there are many platforms, and in the interweb, and you can there are many to choose from. Unity is fantastic, obviously, to use it. And then there's different degrees. So there's like a Godot engine. Here, I'll actually show real quick. So again, for people who are familiar, so Godot engine is also free. And this one, I started learning to do stuff on this without any thing, just because it's super easy. The programming language that they have, GD script, which is kind of like a Python, or you can use C#. Um, it's just super easy to get the hang of stuff, and it's very powerful still. And I highly recommend starting on this one, especially because there's been a lot of support and a lot of. And then of course, Unity, I think being the most popular one, has a lot of Unity as well. And then there's Unreal Engine, which is more advanced. But Unity is a good middle ground, yeah, for trying to do stuff, even at a professional level. And so, yeah, in Unity, you have the scene here. So in this thing that I'm zooming in and out, so this is kind of like the 3D world where things generate. So if I switch to the 3D view right now, you can fly around in the 3D view. It's slow. So once I'll fire up the game, and I did some of this in the last scenes, but the stuff will generate here where my mouse is, and then there's a view of the game. So this is like what we see when we run the game, like the camera. Um, this is the hierarchy. So this is kind of like when you have whatever's going on in the game right now, and like the different kind of entities. So like the camera, the audio stuff, the main menu. All of that will be in this kind of hierarchy here. And then over here, this project stuff, these are kind of like the files of the game that we can just kind of sift through and look at. And then last, or second to last, this over here, this is called the inspector. And so when you click on one of these things in the game, this kind of just tells you the details of it. So it's like, so if this were Sean and I click on Sean, it'll be like, oh, Sean's name, Sean's height, Sean's favorite food, whatever. Um, and um, and so and this stuff you can customize to your liking, and you YouTube has got your back whenever you need it. It's great, and you can absolutely totally. How many times did we go to YouTube, Sean? Far too many.
Literally, if yeah, YouTube is everything. And I don't think they have anything for video game programming, but if you're ever trying to do website stuff, W3 Schools is the way to go. I've like fixed entire websites based on just like simple stuff from here. And also like if you're using Unity, like their documentation on their own website is really, really good. It's not perfect for everything.
No, definitely not. But
no, but
but
for
it
a
is
lot
good.
of the stuff, if you're just like, I don't really know how this thing works or something, or if you're just getting into it, at least for me, it was always really, really helpful. Because before I was doing that, like I had done a lot of programming in uh, another I guess environment called Max or Max MSP, which is like a programming environment that's made specifically for audio stuff. but it's all visual programming. So if you've ever seen like Unreal, it's like it's not programming like with lines of code. It's where you have these little blocks that connect to each other, sort
Mm-hmm.
of like a web. Um, which all the ideas are sort of the same, but if you take that into and try to apply it to Unity, where you're programming in C sharp or other uh, programming languages, it'd be kind of intense. I'd done a small amount of it in like Arduino and things like that, but literally before I opened Unity, I had no other experience in like programming lines of code outside of making a LED blink on an Arduino and things like that. Um, and but their documentation and like YouTube videos and stuff saved my ass and taught me a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Here, I'm just getting a virtual whiteboard. All right. Here's the most makeshift whiteboard ever. I'm just zoomed in on a photo preview. Um, but yeah, Sean has
I've done
totally a
it.
point. So for the audio stuff, and then Sean, you can go through it too. It's we basically
Also, could
so
you share your screen with me, by the way?
oh yeah, sure.
I can't see what you're doing. The stream is like,
Oh yeah, like miles
I
behind
think
the
it's almost like a full, like, yeah, like 10, 20 minutes behind at this point.
thing, man.
For us, it is 10:15 right now. You're probably going to see this at like 10:30.
I hope it's not that bad. Um, but okay, so all right, there we go. So let's bring a picture of you in here, Sean. There we go. So like Sean was saying, when you do sound effects, it's kind of like a combination, right? You wanna elaborate more on that?
Yeah, sure. Are you mean like in how it compares like to that other scripting stuff, or
No, no, like
um
for example, like I didn't know before I met you how like one sound effect could be actually five different pieces of sound put together, right?
oh yeah, yeah. So like if you hadn't worked on like this sort of stuff before, even if you have worked on sound things before or audio projects of any kind, um there's the easy way to do things, which sometimes is absolutely the best, even for making pretty complicated video games and stuff, which is if you need a sound to play, uh, you record that sound in your DAW or whatever, um, and you export that sound, one little audio file, put it in a game, and play that sound whenever you want that sound to play. Um, and that's the most like bare bones um, ground zero like way of just like doing sound in video games. Make a sound, put it in the game, program it to play when it needs to play. Um, and then there's a couple other routes and upgrades you can make to that system. That'll work for a lot of things, but sometimes, for example, if a sound needs to play all the time, sometimes it might be good to have a few different versions of that sound effect. So, um,
Well,
another thing you could do is you could take those sounds and make a bunch of different versions of them and say, okay, play a random one each time.
right.
And that'll get you some more leverage to have things be a little different. Um, and the, I guess, third way to do this sort of thing, in combination with the last two, you're still, the idea is you have a sound effect that you want to play. But in terms of what are the actual assets that you're exporting and making. You can also do a sound effect with multiple layers. So, for example, the jump sound in Aliens After Ava, if I remember correctly, I think there's like 5 layers in it. I'd have to look at it again. I honestly don't remember. But the idea is you can break the sound down into parts. So the idea is you want some specific sound event to happen when you jump. That'll be the same. So that could be like the rising cloth sound of the initial jump. So you might want to start it with some kind of cloth sound, and then once you're up in the air, um, maybe you want another cloth sound to play as you sort of start falling down, and you hear your feet actually hitting the ground. So it goes, maybe there's even two different sounds for that. And then maybe rustling of your backpack to be layered in somewhere, dirt and other sort of like textures, everything that's sort of like a good reference is anything you can see. You can try to put a sound effect in. It's not always necessary for everything you see, but it's a good place to start. You're just trying to figure out what layers you need, and what's going to sound natural. And once you have all of these different layers, you have your cloth, backpack, your feet, all these different things. Then you can go and break down and say, okay, well, which of these can I sort of together? Which of them can I do separately? If you want to go the route of, for example, rendering out like, let's make 3 jump sounds, and I'll just put all of these different sound effects, make sort of different versions of them right in your DAW, right in whatever you're using, Pro Tools, Ableton, Logic, Reaper, whatever. Make 3 different versions of the jump sound that have all of these sounds in them, and that could totally work too. But what happens if now we change the animation and you actually land like 3 frames later, and now all of your sounds are going to play out of sync? Or if it's like, oh, okay, these are all good, but I think just this cloth sound needs to be moved a couple frames, or the landing sounds too loud, we want to turn it down. Something that can be very flexible in these sorts of situations, and also give you more options for how many versions of the sound you want, is to instead take, as Alejandro is drawing on screen right now, you can take each of those layers and export them as their own sound effects. So you have like maybe 5 different versions of the cloth, a few versions of the footsteps sound, and a few versions of the backpack sound, and then you time them out exactly how they're going to occur in the game. Say like cloth happens on like frame 0 or frame 1 of the jump. A few frames later, the footsteps and backpack sound play. And what this does is, once you have 5 cloth sounds, 5 footstep sounds, and 5 backpack sounds, now you have what is that? Is that like 5 cubed different versions of that sound effect or something? I don't remember how math works. But for those sorts of things. But basically, you instantly make a ton of different combinations of this sound effect, and you didn't need to export this audio file 200 times or whatever it is. It's definitely, how big is that? Oh, isn't it 525 or something? Or
I don't know. I've been drawing.
255? If someone knows how to do math or remembers math, I think it's 270 something. But basically, you get a ton of different variations on this sound, and even just having like a few different versions of a few different layers, even if they're playing at the same time, can like very quickly get you a whole world of like making the sound feel very natural, and making it something you can hear over and over again. And this is a specific technique that is used all over this game for a ton of different sound effects.
Yeah, should we show them, for example, here?
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Oh my god, did I draw
Alien sound effect?
Oh, dude, I drew it. Oh, this thing is. Oh, never mind. I thought this thing was now going to be in the game. Oh, it might be in the game actually. Wait, that's hilarious. We play the game now.
This is an asset.
Yeah, what we see.
Unity.
Yeah.
Probably reset it in source tree. It's really funny. It was called Takedown something.
Yeah, that's the card. It's in the
we should put this out in a patch.
Yeah, totally.
There's like this one pixelized like drawing that was used in the animation. Really funny. You can see Unity's got assemble stuff right now. But over in the project, you can see all these folders of assets that we use in the game and the sound effects. We basically made these custom scripts, which allow us to do that sort of more complicated, what we call in the audio. There's other languages that's used by other programs and things. But I was using another program called Wise, which is another software that you can use with Unity and other game building engines. That sort of does all that complicated stuff I just talked about, and like kind of does it for you, or at least has those tools for you to do those sorts of things set up already, and then in your actual game engine, you just say play that sound, and that other program Wise handles everything else. But we wanted to try to do it without using that when we made this. So we had to basically make our own version of all of these, all this programming and scripting, in order to sort of like make that process possible. Where you can just write, play the jump sound at some particular frame of an animation or in code, and then have basically all these things that you can see on the right there. You can put sound effects in and then have them play at certain times, so that you can have this sort of like sequence of sounds where you have one sound that's called jump, but it plays a cloth on frame 1 and then delays like 10 milliseconds and plays this and then plays that. And you can see we even went even deeper into this, and you can actually trigger those sound events in other sound events. So if you made a sound that was like the land sound, which is like your feet hitting the ground in a backpack and some other stuff, you could trigger that as part of another larger like sound effect. So we probably was not totally necessary, but we went super deep and made this thing very very flexible so that we can basically do whatever we want with it.
Right.
I mean, I think there's even
yeah.
I was gonna say I think there's even like stuff in there where another thing that's useful if you need to make a sound sort of change over time is you can change the pitch and the volume, so that every time they play it's a little different, or you can have it controlled by other things where like if you're like dying in slow motion.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's in here.
Honestly,
I don't remember.
Yeah. So, for example, those things that Sean's talking about. So this is not go to player. So if we go to the jump that Sean's talking about, for example. So here, when player jumps, right? You first hear this call, like, and then you hear like a whip.
It's like the air, like,
yeah, exactly. So Sean these out, and Sean said these sound good like this, and then here, well, you can we'll play the sounds. Can you hear that, Sean?
I can't hear it over Zoom, but I'm assuming I can hear it.
Right, so it's like these super subtle things, or even the roll, for example, the roll height, which is, yeah, it's blocks with, it's all, so whenever we want to roll, all these kind of execute 0 delay, 1 second delay, 2 seconds, 4 seconds. The tools, these are my favorites. So Sean can start to like make this kind of nested thing, right? So, the tools sound effect, start that larger roll sound effect was made of these 4 little sound effects. Here with this little jiggle. Like
I love these.
So, actually, no, these aren't all made up. This here is where they randomize. So all these, any of these can play. It randomly chooses one whenever we call this kind of like. So here we only had one version of whip. Here we only had one version of jump. We had 4 versions of footfall, right? Because those are going to be frequent. And so yeah, then you get your roll, and so then there's okay, play all the randomized cloth versions we have, play all the randomized whip versions, play all the roll versions. However many there are. Play all you saw that for rank tool versions. Right? So Sean went just crazy with his stuff. And yeah, you just put together all these sounds. You program all this stuff, so like whatever. Oh no, we're able to think of something. Peter's just trying to stream to you.
Visual Studio.
It's a cookout. What? Oh. Well, here.
Oh. I just but I'm actually going to take this opportunity to go for a moment. I'll be back.
Yes, like you got website programming. Feel free to messenger which yourself if you want. And yeah, let's see what's you cheese on the bottom, on the top, on the bottom, like that really thing. There's like opposite. That's anything. So one thing that so shield is you can see all the frames of the shield. So here all the shield. But actually, I need to do this and this is the one that when the shield bursts through the goes and this exact animation is actually the same one that's used when you fire a bullet and it makes that or when it runs into something it was a bigger alien. If I do that animation then I'm gonna use my signal time and I will let's see critical today with things always get to use and we can speak with stuff. But it's kind of that shot with yeah. So you mentioned so these clouds and the bushes, those are the same kind of asset but the same texture. And all they did was change the colors and it was very smart move back in the day and I want to space out the whole focus game time cartridge. So yeah, you change the color and be like there we go. And same thing Luigi, the same asset, you change the pose around. That I was very inspiration to try to use assets and parts and work with the constraints you have and be flexible. Like, you don't have to make have to do everything separately. You don't have to. So you're trying to get things up. You can go back. So that's oh yeah, here's the next files in the game that I never. These are from the prototype that I have to import every bad idea. So that was being but logs. Here we go. So another thing on these assets, even the steel ones have two frames. They're basically identical, but they're slightly different. I just redo them twice, like kind of and it's kind of like an animation. It's called a shimmer. So it's like when you're standing still, instead of just like having still pose, you kind of do a little flicker, and makes it feel like a little more alive. I tried to do that for all these assets. I think actually now that I remember, I didn't even I can't remember, but okay. And then let's actually see if we can question about the animations. All these I drew with an iPad that I have here. Um, iPad is awesome. It's cool stuff. That's what I want to do. Um, and you can use it as a drawing tablet. It works really, really well. So example looks. So this.
Yo. Guess who's back?
So these are a couple of other. And then we start out with next stuff.
Yeah. Looks like, at least for me, this ring's still on. It's around stuff.
Might have been because it's like.
Oh yeah.
Like it's streaming.
Yeah. We're going on some of the original animation files for the
yeah. Well, we could probably talk about what we're up to these days and where we're at game. What's your day looking like right now, Sean?
Mm-hmm. So at the moment, I've been working on some other animation stuff. One is with a sort of new startup called Color of My Voice, which is an animation series where people talk about sort of their experiences with their race and multiculturalism where they live, whether it's in the U.S. or outside the U.S. And we sort of making like a couple different like animations where people tell their stories about those sorts of things, and I've been helping with their audio stuff, sound effects, editing, things like that. I've also been working full time at Death by Audio, where I design like audio electronics, guitars, things like that. And working on another video game that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime next month. So keep an eye out for that. It's called Eco Park. It's an educational game. What about you?
I have been. So in December, or after most of the development finished in August, when the original demos posted and stuff, I went back to school because I was on break making this game, and then I graduated in December, and now I have a full time job as well, and I am a programmer at a startup company. I started a video game studio, and it's called Loric Games, Loric, and if you go to their page, you'll see my face there. And yeah, working on something. Let's say what it is. But go on our page and you can see all the public info you can there. And yeah, so it's great. I work there every day. Joe, my mentor, who helped me on the project, and now he's also there on the page. And yeah, it takes up a lot of my time, obviously. And so weekends have been really hard to get stuff. It's like, oh, geez, I gotta do laundry. Or oh man, I have no food. You know how this goes, Sean. Right? Everyone knows how this goes, right? Where it's like, ah, shit, I gotta grab food, or oh, there's not in the fridge, and oh, I haven't seen this friend in forever. Maybe I should say.
And so a bowl of cereal for before we start.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, finding time for this again has been a challenge. But last weekend I did finally head down and start working on the next part. I kind of gotten some time to use my new job, and that definitely takes priority right now. And yeah, so we are working on stuff, and it will come out probably slowly, to be honest. But we will keep posted while we can. And yeah, right now I'm working on the Zen mode. So someone at MagFest suggested some guy by the name Chris. Chris, if you ever see this, hello. And it was a pleasure having you play the game. It was super cool. And Chris loved the game, and he's really nice. And he had a point where he ran into a bug where he just kept running indefinitely at a boss. And he was just kind of like grooving and just kind of doing his own thing, and he really, really enjoyed that. And he's like, could that be a mode? I was like, you know what, that can be a mode. And I think it'd be a good idea. So in Zen mode, you'll be able to you'll pick your level environment, and you'll be able to pick you up in the present. If you want the music on or not, right? So you can put your own music over, and then you can set how fast you'll go. So if you want to just go for slow run or just normal fast run, and then it goes definitely as long as you want. And like you're just talking with somebody, you just kind of want to dodge around and roll around. Like Chris did it for a while. Then you go. And so that'll be one of the modes. There'll be 2 more arcade modes somewhere. And then once those arcade modes are in, I'm thinking of I think that'll give me a good kind of coming back to the product, and then from there maybe making the next level. And then it's maybe hopefully working with Bijan to get some more sound stuff, more audio stuff. But I know we're both busy.
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, so this is that's the game where it's at right now. So we'll definitely join the Discord if you haven't. Everyone has been really, really nice, and I'm really happy to see everyone chatting and posting videos. It's you guys are amazing and fantastic, and I really, really appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. You guys are so awesome.
Yeah, I'll post the link to that again too,
Mm-hmm.
if I can find it. Or it's like I posted it a little while ago, but if anyone's just popping in, feel free to join our Discord server, of course, and just sort of talk about the game with us. We're all here. It's a pretty small server, so if there's anything you want to chat with us about, feel free. Chat with other people playing the game, and as a couple people bring up, maybe talk about speed running,
Mm-hmm.
talk about optimization strategies.
Yeah, so here you can see the orb. So I just kind of went in hand and just kind of animate these. And give them some blur effects. So like there, it's like a pretty blur to kind of feel like flows. Right now it's running really slow. So, and, making sure that this whole thing loops. So you gotta make sure you put the last frame with the first frame. And then now it'll loop indefinitely. Hiccups.
It's such a good animation. I love all these orb.
I was very happy with how the orb came out. It didn't take I did it it took me a couple of tries where I wasn't getting the lines that I wanted to, or because you have to think of it as a sphere. So like, if you're looking at it straight on, the sides aren't gonna look like moving much, and then once it comes around the front, it's gonna move faster.
Yeah, like a sign, just a little banner.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was cool. These also took a while, but I really wanted to do because I thought they looked cool. It sounds amazing though.
Definitely like inspired.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, this whole thing. There's the animation for thing. So I really just stretched the shit out of frame, really.
Yeah, looks
after
great.
effect. For this a long time. This and then all the animations for Ava. The animations for Ava alone took so long.
Yeah, this is a lot going on.
Yeah, those took me like 2 weeks, about a week or 2 weeks of just. It's what you most, and so you want to make sure that it looks good. Oh, look, here's one animation.
Oh yeah.
More like it's set up the context for me. Maybe that'll be a bit tougher.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the old prototype. That's why. Okay, well, yeah, you're all the running things for the old prototype. That takes a long time.
Yes.
There's an animation. You can cool.
Some of the alien stuff.
The slasher. The slasher is. I run animating, so I'm showing you the game and good feedback. Oh, there's nothing.
That's how fast it slashes.
Yeah,
It's less than a frame. But of course, if there's anything you want us to see specifically, if you played some of the game, whether it's an animation or not, anything that you want us to see under the hood, we'd be happy to show you that, or we can look at stuff in a future stream too. If you have any thoughts on the game, thoughts on what you'd like to see in our next stream, let us know.
Oh,
Let us know in chat.
But yeah, while you were going, showing them the whole Super Mario reusable plasma mode, which I say.
Yeah.
See, that's somehow the shield blow up animation and the lip blow up animation are the same.
Oh yeah, little burst.
Dude, I had to draw these really quick because I was like, I'm already spending so much time here. This one is my.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Sean when I was doing these and like new streaming, I'd be like, well, she's animation.
Appreciate that.
And you have to color this like the board.
Oh yeah.
You gotta act it out. So you gotta go and kind of see where like the parts of your body move and stuff. So like the shoulder comes first, right? So I didn't know how with this, and then like kind of the elbow curves a little, right? But it's just at such a weird angle. It's kind of.
That's something I've totally learned through working with a lot of years. It's like if you're like on Discord calls with them while they're working, or you're like in the room while they're like talking about something, like you're gonna be standing up and like moving around and be like, okay, if I'm like throwing a punch, like my shoulder is in, and like you gotta get up and move around. That sort of stuff. It's not affects you to just kind of stare at the screen.
Well, one time Sean was like, I remember one time you were like, hey, what do you think of this sound? And you played it. I'm like, that sounds awesome. What did you do? And you're like, I recorded my fridge.
Oh yeah. There was a time we were working on this in another project where I was just like, man, we need to make a dark like sci-fi environment. I'm just gonna record everything I have access to in my apartment. It was like kind of early-ish, like COVID at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you gotta just use what you got. Like so much stuff in just like modern life sounds scary as hell. So, one sound I still haven't recorded that I really, really want to record is we got some nice microphones, like multi-track recording of when the like wood and metal of my like childhood bedroom settles at night. I guess it probably happens in the winter or something when the heat comes on. It's like there's a certain season where that would happen, and I lived in the same bedroom for like my entire life, like when I was a kid. There's a truck backing up. It sounds like, but and I was always like fascinated with things that scared me from when I was like really little. But I was like scared of stuff all the time when I was a kid. And the sounds that my bedroom made were terrifying in the middle of the night. Because usually like our house is pretty quiet. But there's definitely some like metal and like the air conditioning system or something that would make these really gnarly noises in my bedroom. That was sort of like it's always like all around the space. Like it's not really at one particular part of the room. It sort of like encompasses the entire room in this.
Yeah.
And it would just happen in these bursts where it wasn't even a specific sound that would happen or a few different sounds. Like for some reason, there's always a ton of sounds all at the same time. It would happen like periodically. And I always really wanted to record that sound. But there's so many things that you don't even think of, like air conditioners and refrigerators and things that hum and buzz. And there's just so much like machinery around all this all the time that can be really, really useful when you're trying to make an environment feel alive. And yeah, I always try to like find those things when I can. Like I still bring like a portable recorder everywhere just in case. I got one thing at my old job where I worked at a video game company called Dots, where in their office, I think it's something with their air conditioning unit, would kind of vibrate this one wall very slightly. And there was a fire extinguisher with a metal door in front of it on the wall. So whenever I like, walk by to go to the bathroom, if you listen really close, you just hear of like the vibration of the air conditioner on this on this little door because it would like vibrate and it would make it smack into the wall really fast. So I remember I would like I took like an extra long bathroom break at some point because I just went to the hallway and just grabbed my phone for a few minutes.
Comes back. Sean, were you a fan there, man? You were there for a while.
Yeah. I think I pulled that out. That was such a good sound. Very particular. But there's the fun part about doing audio stuff is you can really get stuff from anywhere. Like the microphone on your phone, depending on what phone you have, is not too shabby really. But all the stuff I just got like it's not showy enough to stream on the stream, but I got all kinds of stuff like Resonant Metal Clang 3.
It's good.
Like these are all just things I have on my phone.
It's so funny. Like I remember we sat down, we just went through a bunch of them. But yeah, you're so right. Especially in some place like New York City, like you're gonna find everything.
Yeah. Escalator, Syncopation, Roosevelt Island, F train.
That sounds like a hefty elevator.
It's serious. I forget what that might have been like a. I don't remember when I was on an elevator in the Roosevelt Island F. I definitely ended up there when like it's happened to me several times where I'm like coming back from work. It doesn't happen anymore just based on like where I live and what my train situation is. But when I'd be coming back from work going uptown to my apartment that I used to live in, I would very, very frequently go the wrong way. Or I get on like if you're not in New York, it doesn't mean anything. But like I'll get on the N train thinking it was the Q. It's these two trains that run very similar paths, but then they diverge off. So I probably ended up on Roosevelt Island because I took the F train the wrong way or too far or something, which will just happen. I'm trying to find that. Excuse me, that one recording that I was talking about because it does sound pretty crazy. Actually, I don't remember what stuff in Aliens After Eve I actually recorded. Although it was sort of fun library stuff. Sometimes I record cloth things just because it usually sounds good, but they're also very difficult to record. Like you want those cloth sounds because they're so vital to the character and just making movement feel real. But like clothing is really quiet. It makes it hard to record. Because as soon as you turn your mic up loud enough to hear it, you're gonna get like problems with noise and stuff. I found a fire extinguisher as this.
Oh my god. I like how it's like stops suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. Like it moves a tiny bit away and it starts like hitting it again. I think that's why I initially used it. It sounded like a marching band, like snare drill or something.
So one last thing is why don't we just get 5 questions or so? Sure. Why you're definitely before we're
Yeah, take a final round of questions from our viewership before we have this. Well,
5 questions. What's the about?
I have them like on a schedule where it's like, oh yeah, they're on a schedule where at like 10:30 they turn red and go dim, and then at 11 they turn off. And I think also automatically turn off when I'm at work and then turn back on. Like, just yeah. It also just helps me like tired at night. I got 3, but once again, I'll get the rest of you.
What are you playing right now, or recently enjoyed?
Oh yeah. Like the last game that I really remember being invested in, we already got a lot, but it was Last of Us Part 2. Though right now, technically what I need to be doing is finishing Dead Space 2, because I'm kind of towards the end of that game. I roommate started it. I finished it. Yeah, and I had some friends who were I had a friend who I've never played any of the Dead Space games who just started playing the remake of the first one. I think I heard about that. Sounds like it's freaking insane. It looks great. It's such a series, like if you are into any of that kind of stuff, horror games, sci-fi games, shooter games, blowing things off. What about you? What are you playing?
I'm not playing. I have been playing on and off. I play a lot of Melee every week. Crazy and
Yep.
for any Melee people out there, I mean, play online screw. You do. And I've been also using also as well because like, I find like PlayStation showing up. Again, just like I love your. I've been meaning to get Safety. And also I want to buy the remake Last of Part One like on PC.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's based on this, and God, I mean, that's something I haven't played about now.
I need to play that too.
Yeah,
I own it. I have it.
so have you seen that?
Yeah.
And then
I got another question for you.
more so that there's a really cool game, Take Story. It's not out yet, but look that up. It's so amazing. And the
Take Story. I think I saw that one.
Yeah, that one was amazing. Sam, too.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another great game there that I went. There's a lot of super cool games there. I think the business card for some of them. There's a skateboarding game. Scrapboard was unreal. It was replay a skateboarding game with a real skateboard. It's like basically Dance Resolution, but you have to have skateboarding your legs. There's all kinds of great stuff there.
Anyways,
I have a question for you,
okay, go ahead.
which is what was your favorite enemy to draw in this game?
Um,
Or if there's an asset that you like driving more than one.
I think I really liked to. I thought the pin down alien. I thought that was really cool to draw, and that's so exciting. The boss was also really cool to draw. Yeah. What was it called? Sky Pop. Yeah, that was good. And for you, my friend, forget the pasta because I know that's all really.
It definitely totally depends on the type of sauce that I'm having with.
Okay.
If we're talking just like standard like marinara sauce or like red sauce and meatballs and like that, like spaghetti for me is random, rarely beat. Sometimes penne if it's really good. Or rigatoni. Yes. I think at a certain level ravioli can't even count because it would just kind of blow everything else out of the water. It's also it has its own stuff going on. It's kind of cheating. It's a dumpling.
You're right.
It's delicious, but like a good ravioli with like a mushroom ravioli with like some sort of mushroom curry sauce is sort of like
I can see your eyes like already gone. Picture.
it's glazing over, or like a good bow tie with pesto. It's really great too. I love pesto. Pesto is an underrated pasta sauce. If you find good pesto, some of them are like half garlic and disgusting. like any pasta sauce with too much garlic to me is whack as hell. But if you find a good pesto, keep it close to your heart. It's just important for life. For you, how about what is some of the best or most useful feedback we got about this game?
There have been many feedback. The first really useful one was when I was finally testing out the levels I had friends, two friends, Sebastian and David. Best sounds. Thank you folks. Thank you comments or elements. They really help with their money. We have to lock the limit point. You have to give them room so that they move. So it's not falling things. And I was like, oh, it's not getting animation somewhere. But I was like, you know what, let's try. And so I went back and I shortened all like the time, like the amount of time you need animation for you can decoy evidence. And I'm like, wait, this is like literally the next day I was like, we're gonna say it. And they're like, oh yeah, this is so much better. This is and I had a lot of like that. So I kind of like, wow. And then another piece of feedback I think was I think someone designed that pointed out the first was very difficult if you ever pick the game first time. And it's hard when you game play a level fast sometimes. So back then I love the first boss and a lot of people love it. And yeah, so those two things any feedback yeah, is so great. And sometimes the result. But yeah, right. And they want to make sure that it's more good feedback too than just say soft for the scenes and not helpful. Yeah. So sure. So that's not great. If you guys like the
We're gonna help someone make a video game.
Yeah.
Telling you like it isn't necessarily gonna help them make it better.
That's true.
But you still tell them.
And also, if someone wants feedback, give them if they haven't really asked you yet, maybe it's not really feedback.
Yeah, give it feedback when it's actual.
You, Sean, what was your favorite sound?
This is gonna sound weird, but I think it's actually the jump sound. I think it's just like there's like lasers and stuff in this game. That's cool. Lasers are always cool, but I just always really like the super detailed little like texture they get out of like movement sounds. That's the reason I think like Last of Us and Dead Space, a lot of like specifically stuff in horror genre. Maybe just so because their sound effects are always so detailed. And Aegis is really good about that too.
Yeah,
you can just turn screen off, just listen. You're like, you get so immersed in that world. That's a scary moment. People make games know. People make good sounding games know when they pay attention to them. So little things that have a lot of detail. I hope this one doesn't be kind of really long. I was going to ask what you think was the most like difficult programming problem they had to solve while making this game. Because this is going to be a 3-hour long question.
It depends. Some things are difficult, some things take a long time. Some difficult to do them. Some things are difficult because you can't figure out what's wrong. I think the beginnings are always really hard. And so for example, getting system of things. I think about having great kind of work and using those like mesh points, and then I was like wrap around roughly, and then making sure things spawn the formulas and the likeliness that you want. That was kind of working well. Or having technical bugs where it's like a certain turn on, it's supposed to be sequential, but those things are not at the same time. Because I'm like butt heads, and so that's kind of something more the other one, and like the one base and so yeah, that's my audio access. So
it's complicated. There's some bug we had where like you would just play like a gunshot sound when shooting it.
Oh, yeah,
things like that. I don't even remember what was going on with that. It was a long time ago.
And I guess last question for you is what would you do what would you do differently if you go back? And if you go back again, or what would you do different, or what would you do if you were able?
So a couple points. English answers stuff really fast. Stuff. As for what I would do differently, I think like I would maybe focus more on the environmental sound in this game. As well as there's like we had some other stuff for the soundtrack and some music. Might do something with that future. It's a reduced game. But I think like going time more to the environmental sound would be really nice. Just make the game feel more alive, the world more real. Like that. But it's a game development, so many things going on. Yeah, the real answer is like when we develop that whole idea, it's complicated. If you did it right the first time, it would be nice. Yeah, exactly. But
if anyone wants to decide, what do you do? We'll section things that. And if anyone has any more questions or any more questions or see or suggestions, anything like that, there's something to Discord. And And yeah, we're and we're waiting on other stuff. We're working.
Yeah, thank you for stopping.
Like, yes, friends. Stop recording. Let's stop the stream. There, I guess stop the stream. And
I think it might just say that until the whole stream's done, maybe.
okay,
The stream is still you going through your Flash files right now.
stopping recording.
But here, yeah, it's fine now. Check out the stream 2 hours ago. Nice.
On the stream, good job.
Yeah, really cool. You got like 10 or more people. Is there anything?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah. You got a lot of like international viewership.
I'll see. I think. Yeah, see.
I'm tired from speaking.
Maybe up tomorrow.
Oh well, it's Friday tomorrow, so I'm gonna be going on from home. I've been doing that. For the game. I've been taking Fridays off this month to work on that.
That's good.
Since the deadline's coming so quick, I might also work on some stuff. But I'm gonna this time. I've been so bad at also like listen for like coming. But I think just more years for me. I really want to get 40 hours for reason. I'm gonna work on it probably. I say 8, 9. Something like that. And then I got like laundry and some stuff to do.
Yeah, working from home nights, yeah. Work on that person.
Yeah, I think what I found is like this is something I'm getting on any of the audio things for myself. Is the fast pace. I'm about 2 weeks. All the time. For 7 years, my part. You can't have it until that happens. I really so like even if it's a little bit messy. Like everything, every fucking object in their place, man. Can't even just there's all the fucking thing.
Yeah, they start to work on
Yeah, like if I was somewhere else, if I like a field, it would be. If I'm at home, I can't have other home things. Should be really myself right now. That really second. I like so like I hate looking through my wallet, but mostly just for like the the starts that we got and stuff. Just sort of just looking for all these cards that I was like, yeah, maybe I'll like go see if there's like I'll be last hand or something like that. So that's my so that's I'm putting things on. You're just products. Oh shit. Wait, I have like a wizard model best thing. How do you do like definitely and it's like a lot. Someone like so yeah, it's like it's middle. So new two tasks is one of them for here. And I got a keyboard stand for like keyboard. And I got super cheap kind of stuff. And I wrote keyboard to do. I got a new SD for my project stuff. I only just as of like 2 weeks ago started like putting my audio projects on for my computer, drive, which has been fucking like a godsend. It immediately took like 30 gigabytes off my computer and there's only this currently. So it's like it's so much space. And yeah, that's because I have a separate drive that's just samples, like just samples to use in index graphics, things like that. And that one, I think it's a 2 terabyte drive that I'm currently using almost a terabyte already. Shit, I didn't notice that. It's 853 gigabytes of sound effects. And it's just sound effects, it's not projects or like project files, just literally just sound effects. And then my project drive that I just got, it's a 1 terabyte drive. I'm using 50 gigs. Like I kind of get in there. What I've been doing is like whenever I'm like the animations like I publish or like I work on video games, I was like take all my project files and session files, things like that, just put them in as data, put them on Google Drive, so I don't need them.
So you're probably burning those.
Yeah, because my whole computer is like I have a computer backed up to this one like 5 terabyte drive. I also have both of my entire laptops backed up on Google Drive because we have infinite Google Drives right now. I use them like split both computers like whatever. I didn't even know before. I think someone else told me that you can do that. You can back up a whole computer on Google Drive and automatically sync or whatever. You can really use that.
I use them for the backplace.
I saw your computer one. We're looking stuff. I've had that recommended before, and I might check that out too at some point.
I don't know the source of it. It's nice just it's on that. Just
yeah. It'd be useful. Like the one I have on the physical hard drive is like on a time machine backup. We also just for things. They made it so like every time too.
No, I'm not right. It's not Steam.
Dude, literally, that fucking game is really good.
I'm so bad at games.
It's literally easy. It's so fun. But I have my time machine backup drive because it comes through different hard drives and stuff. For my SSD, it's a picture explosion. For my project drive that I just got is a Minecraft graphic deal. And for Mac drive, it's no spoilers. But in Dishonored 2, there's a time travel level where you have a little item that makes you travel back in time. It's a little icon for that thing. It's a great story. I think we definitely talked about it before. Like Dishonored 2 has the best time travel level in any video game. Dude, like it's so good. I got to play some more time travel. Actually, that one that we played at night was super cool. The one that was right next to us was really interesting. But in terms of like a regular game that isn't about time travel, has a time travel level. It's Dishonored 2. That's just like unbelievable. It's like it has like a lot of similar mechanics, and like learn how we go, move something, and then it's moving in the future.
Yeah, okay. I'll add that. I'll down too.
It's like and there's the little like tool you have. It's like a little thing that has like a piece of glass sticking out of it. And when you hold up the glass in front of your view, you can see what the past looks like through the glass.
Oh yeah, I'm showing this one.
Yeah, it looks fucking. It's nice. It's cool.
I got it.
But anyway, I think it's fucking. Yeah, I should definitely do it this time.
Yeah, maybe if I have one.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's also, I mean, I'm gonna be working on this other thing for at least like this next month. And also, Adam and I are finishing another Rich Kids episode. Another like short one. It's about energy drinks. It'll be it's funny. It's a lot like shorter. It's like a simpler concept than like the last one was like this is like a fucking like motion picture of Rich Kids. These other ones are gonna be a lot simpler, but it's funny. We gotta do some sound stuff for it. But after all this is done, maybe starting in March. If we want to like try to make like a cool ass like new update, I'd be happy to like hit our picks just for us to jump on and walk around like old times.
It's always gonna be a lot of people in the concept. They'll kind of take over. We got outside and it's still super fun to have things.
Yeah, like I definitely got probably too many little things right now, but I want to get some of them in. Like I've been thinking about like just trying to maybe start working part time on degrees and things like that, or I was thinking since I'm going to be making pedals and stuff, I was gonna I might start a company with my roommate to do stuff. I mean, just like a write off my music taxes, but yeah, just sort of dedicate some other stuff outside this job. Like we still get full time benefits even if we don't work 4 days a week. But we get paid obviously, so it's hourly. But I'm just thinking about dedicating more time to stuff. So
yeah, and like I said, start you're completely writing stuff. Yeah, what you want to some of that.
Oh yeah.
It's something what you're in need. When we were all there, we all watching DC.
Oh yeah, that's what headquarters is.
Yeah, we sort of like the CEO. One email with another, another thing, and something like this, right? Something that's 2 1. And we're supposed to do this for super. So where the audio gate? That's like a point gate and stuff in this area, like music and the shadow. And like, oh, sick, it doesn't sound. And this, and I'm like, no, he's right. The case sound extremely important. That's what I'm talking about. Totally. Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of stuff. I'll see you. If anything happens. But the other thing is, it's so long. So people check that. And they hide it. They'll chat with them. They break the host. Let's involve them. Such as it's like a connection. It's not really trust. Go with me.
Yeah.
Better than they know.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. I'm already into game stuff right now. Like, oh yeah, you could like process it. Yeah, you can use it.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be something. It's trying to get on scene.
Yeah, trying to survive.
Yeah, and how cool.
Yeah.
Well, we tell
you right now is we're leaving Cabo on March 10th, I think. Or let's say that weekend. It's in 3 weeks now.
I'll be working.
I was going to do like a refresher on who we didn't discuss it. It's before this, or someone like this there for them. Like, oh shit. Yo, here's my brother. What's the boss? Yeah. We're both in the area. Went to, is there like a, is there a Massachusetts Institute? Like, anybody MIT or something? But he went to, CBMS? Or there's like, is there another like chemical institute thing that's like in Massachusetts or not?
Yeah, there's there's a source that's Wentworth Institute. There's also
I'm just gonna start on Facebook. I don't remember.
there's a Worcester Institute.
I think maybe Worcester.
Yeah. Hang on. Or Wesley.
Maybe it was even but mine does know people were there. And it was, but we're saying, Laura and I are going to be staying at her cousin's place, which I think they have like an apartment in Boston, and they also have a house like on the Cape something. We'll be in some. Yeah, we'll get a whole weekend. Also, we'll see you guys first.
Yeah, yes. Anyways,
Yes.
everybody agree with
Yeah, you too.
Something on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.